Hey everybody, it's Ken's Talk, doing the iTunes Top 100 podcast review. Crazy stuff in the iTunes file I have here for going over Top 100 podcasts. I have made it a goal of mine, a New Year's resolution, one would say, to go through all the pods. Look at all of them. There's like 167 or something of them, maybe even more. Look at that, 181 right now. Different pods have graced the iTunes Top 100 ranking on their chart. I'm going to go through all of them, rank them, listen to them, and the way I'm going through them and listening to them is, well, by top down, right? Best to worst, I guess. So number one right now, as of 112, we look at just today, is Invisibilia. I did listen to that. It was pretty good. They had a really compelling story about a guy who was paralyzed and couldn't speak, and how he eventually became able to communicate. Great story. I would recommend that. Part of it was really compelling, and that was good. I did not leave it on my subscription list. It's anything that has the word NPR in it, kind of. They're getting an extra bump, I feel like, the affiliation to NPR, and I feel like they're kind of artificially inflated on the chart, and they're going to fade quickly, or more quickly. But I like the idea of talking about thoughts, something where people are going to think. There's a lot of good there, so just because it's not on my subscription list doesn't mean it's a bad pod. So it might be your cup of tea, and I can see why it's number one right now. There's different ways of looking at things, and it's really cool. I've got little scores I put for all the different rankings. Like, it's 100% if it's a number one ranking for that day. So like, if you look at the Invisibilia podcast, these are all different days all the way up till today or yesterday. So Monday, just yesterday, it's been number one for 3 days. It was down here for a while, and they had a big release with their first real episode. So that's pretty crazy stuff. I don't know how long it's going to stay there, but it's pretty cool. You can even you can do cool things like say, all right, all the podcasts that have the word NPR in them, that have some type of NPR affiliation, you can search that this way. And you get a look at where they are all distributed and how many there are. Like, this looks like there's, 18 of them? 15 of them, it says? So there's 15 of them, and the big ones that you would have heard of would have been Invisibilia, which I just told you about. Wait, Don't Tell Me, who hasn't heard that show with the guy who thinks he's an old school game show host. That has a 17% share. That means that when it's on the chart, this is its rankings on the chart, the higher the number, the higher it is. So 20% is the number 5. It's 1 divided by the ranking. So that's a 5 ranking for them. So that's really high, on Top 100. So, I'm going to have to listen to it. I'm assuming it's the same as the show that I've heard on the radio. TED Radio, I have listened to that. That's pretty freaking awesome. And that's got an NPR affiliation with it. But there's some incredible stuff on TED Radio. Yeah, I love that. I would definitely listen to that. I think this should be higher than this, in my opinion. Well, anyway, there's a million ways to look at different things, and I don't know where to start or where to finish. I like seeing big movers. This is the really huge mover that happened just over the last 2 days. The Robcast. I don't know why that happened, but he's in at number 20, 25 out of nowhere. We got a Robcast flying in out of nowhere. PR stuff. Adam jumped. He should have. Yeah, he jumped 6 because he talked about firing Allison Rosen. Where's Allison? Oh yeah, I keep talking about that because that's the one a lot of my audience would be Adam Carolla, Allison Rosen fans. So this is the only drawback to scrolling through these slicers. These are pivot slicers in Excel, and they're freaking awesome. Allison Rosen is your new best friend. So here's Allison. So she's continuing to drop off because this is and I think she's not putting up a fight, and she's not going to talk about it anymore. She doesn't want to. She realizes that she's up against. You don't want to go up against Adam. Nobody does. Adam Carolla show. So now what's going on? You can see that Allison at one point was really having a lot more activity than Adam on this chart here. This is when she got fired and then talked about it and had a round table session. And then Adam's steadily growing consistency there. Cool. How cool is that to look at? I don't know. I'm a data nerdaroni, and this is just super cool. So, all right. So next on the list or anything, we talked about a couple of pods. I did listen to Reply All, and I can't remember anything about it. So this is a startup thing. I like to talk about startup because I listen to that. I do listen to startup. I couldn't remember anything from this episode. That's a bad sign. But I do like startup. He's up 3. All right. I got to go. I got a million things to do. But this is really cool. Download it. Play with it if you want. If you got Excel, it's 2010 or later. You will have access to these things called slicers. If you don't, then you won't see them, and it'll make it a little more difficult. You can still browse by these filters, but you won't have the slicers. But upgrade to Excel. Come on, do it. It's awesome.